music fans out there. This is Leigh with Coda Country, and today I am so blessed to have the opportunity to talk to Canaan Cox.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, and we're here in Atlanta at Smith's Old Bar before his show on August 18th. And you've been doing like a crazy run of shows recently. Tell me where all you've been.
We just got back from the UK. It was our third time over. Glasgow, Edinburgh, London, Manchester, and Norwich.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it was a little 5-day run over there.
Yeah.
Before that, we were in like Wisconsin, Omaha. We were in New York, like Buffalo, Syracuse area.
Yeah.
All leading up to the tour. And then we took a little bit of the summer off, but this is our first show back. I guess you would say the summer shows after that. But yeah, we got this in Memphis and Carolina shows next week.
Yeah, coming up. Hometown shows, right?
Hometown shows, yeah. Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
But I say no one ever knows where that is. It's Asheville.
Yeah.
But my mom gets mad at me every time. She's like, "You're not from Asheville." And I'm like, "Mom, no. There's a Hendersonville literally like 30 minutes north of Nashville, Tennessee."
Okay,
so
yes, that's
if I'm
right.
there, which is where I live, if I say Hendersonville, they're just going to be like, "Oh, cool, just up the road." I'm like,
No.
Anyways, so yeah.
Yeah.
Hometown show.
For sure. And then you also have an exciting run coming up in Australia. Tell me about that too. Yeah.
I mean, it's we're going to be kind of a stripped down set. It's kind of the same thing when I went to England the first time. I just did an acoustic run, but I'm seeing the fans. I live on my socials. It's a digital world, and I'm just like seeing the love. Sydney is my #1 top stream city every time in like on Spotify and stuff like that. And so I was like, cool. And like those 3 cities, Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, are all in like the top 5 cities on streams. And so I was like, let's just go see how it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's the first time over there, debut little Australian tour. But I'm excited about it. I've been there before, but not on tour. I did cruise ships.
Oh, wow.
Before I moved to Nashville. And so, yeah, we ported out of Sydney.
That's
so
awesome.
you could be back to sell some tickets.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I was going to say, like, all the Australian country music fans that I know are like die hard country music. So
it's crazy. They're in the UK. It's funny. I always joke around. I mean, obviously America is a different beast, but it's like, cool, I can do, 3 UK tours and sell, 250 tickets before they even go on sale. And I'm like, we're pushing 80 tickets on, 30 minutes down the road. But yeah, there are some true country fans out there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, okay. And let's talk a little bit more too, especially with like the fan base that you've gained, throughout your hometown, throughout Nashville, throughout the South. You talked a little bit about touring up north. What do you think is like your favorite venue that you've played so far? Or maybe like of all time?
Of all time, yeah. I mean, I know we're talking about the UK a lot, but there is, we've played there every time, Stereo Cafe in Glasgow. And it's just this cool room. It's like in the basement of a cafe, and it's got a big, stage and the whole thing. And, but they're just rowdy over there. They're just so rowdy. I think, the first time we went over, I mean, again, was the first tour. So, I mean, it wasn't, a huge crowd, but it was still, I mean, maybe like 75, 100 people there. And I mean, but they were there to like, they were there. Yeah. They were there. And so we've gone back every time. It's looking like we might go back next year. And I was, called them up. I was like, love to do another show there. But I think that's it. As far as the crowd goes, we played one in Edinburgh this year. It's called The Caves. And it was like straight up out of Hogwarts.
Oh my gosh.
It was like, it was something special. It was like a rock. It was like a cobblestone castle. It was called The Caves for a reason.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so it was awesome.
Wow. Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a pretty big fan of a lot of your music. Tell me, what's one of the more current songs that you're working on, or any other projects that you may have coming up in the future?
In the future, we have we got one more single for the rest in this year. We just dropped the EP in May, and so we're letting it live and do its thing. Yeah. But we got one that I've known, like, as soon as we wrote it, I was like, I want to cut this, and we finally got the right producers and the right team behind it, and so we're going to drop that in hoping the end of September, just right in the fall season. And then we're already working on music for next year. But as far as this year goes, we got one more single. That
September date's gonna come quick.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and I will say, Juliet Rowe is my contact at Smith's Old Bar, so I'm gonna give her a shout out just real quick.
Thanks for booking me.
Of course, yeah. And so as I was like reading your bio through what she sent me, I saw that you're a musical theater guy.
Yes.
And my day job is as a musical theater teacher.
Cool.
So I wanted to ask you, like, what did you love about being a BFA? What did you really take away from that, bringing it into your country music career?
Yeah, I mean, I went to Catawba College. It's a very small school, but it has a pretty great theater program.
Yeah.
What I loved a lot about that was we also did like all the sets and the lights. I mean, so even as a freshman, you would be on like, hey, cool, you're a master electrician, and you're like just thrown into it. So there was a lot of that. I mean, it was a full-time thing on top of college, and so but they kind of threw that on top of being in shows. So not so much the performance side, I'll get there, but the work ethic side of it all, I think that plays a lot into just this career and like putting that in and just being able to balance all of that, at 17, 18 years old. That was kind of crazy to get into and just really throw you into the theater world. If you don't know anything about it, it's not meant for everyone, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. But also on the performance side, even in my music, and you can see in my music videos, I mean, I love editing. I edit, produce, and direct all my music videos.
Awesome.
I just love to do it.
Yeah.
And then writing it in the music as things have progressed. Sometimes when I moved to Nashville, you're kind of just like, I don't have any contacts and all this. And you can listen to it in my earlier music. It sounds a little bit more, I guess, more country, you would say. Because I was like, cool, let me just write what's on the radio at the time. You're green, you're naive, you don't really know. Yeah. But then I started to step in a little bit more into what I want to throw in here, this musical theater vibe into my music. A lot of this magic. Magic is probably the biggest word that I always throw out in the studio. I'm like, no, like make it magical. Like there have been times where I've literally shown producers like movie trailers. I'm like, watch this. How you feel watching this trailer is how I want them to feel when they hear this.
I love that.
Yeah, and so trying to bring in this cinematic flair into it. I always like to joke around with some of my ballads and some of the upper beat stuff. It's always, not pop, it's not country, it's kind of this thing. And so I always joke around. It's like it's Disney gone country.
Absolutely.
It's like Frozen with the banjo. But anyway, so yeah, it's definitely brought a lot into the music, but also on stage. I mean, you have to perform. I always joke around, but in between the songs, I have the most fun just talking to the audience and feeling comfortable on stage. And it's definitely, I think, helped a lot in that.
In that way too.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's awesome to hear, and I'm going to share that with my students whenever I go back home too, just to give them a little. This is why theater can help you. Don't forget, kids.
Don't forget it.
Well, I just want to take the time to thank you so much for meeting before the show, because I know you're almost ready.
I know.
I
see my guitar player, and I bet he's looking for the keys to move the van.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Because here we are.
Here we are again.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for meeting with us, everybody out there. This is Canaan Cox. If you don't know him, now you do, and this is Leigh with Coda Country. Take care.
See ya.